Hey, Shalom, Misha. I want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kodash, double honor to the apostles of GMS and honesty brothers doing the work and truth, sincerity. This is a quick one on this thing of representation. How people speak about it all the time. It's like, oh, we need we need to see more black people and whatever that's the terms that they use, right? And Would you call it? And so this is what this video is all about. Right, but what does Esau, show us in terms of representation on the media? Right, they just show us, Jake being in a niggly way or, whatever, what have you. Right, and then whenever it is a Jake that is, doing something that's, notable, right, there's always a dig that Esau does. Right, for instance, which Elder Brother was speaking about at camp 2 weeks ago, but how in the film ID4. Right. Will Smith's the character of Will Smith, right? His wife was basically a stripper, right, in the film, right? As if to say, oh, we'll let you save the world, but your wife's gonna be a stripper, right? That's what she gonna do, right? And that's how Esau represents us in the media, and the inspiration for this one came, which was because I've been watching that Black Lightning, right? And what do you call it? It was basically CEO. I know Jay was watching it, right? Jay beginning out because I'm watching it. I'm watching not so much Black Lightning per se, but some of the other characters that come in. Right, you had one character jumper, being able to jump, right? For basically, if you imagine in X-Men, you got the blue guy and he just jumps around the place. So it's basically that kind of character. It's Jake, suave, whatever have you, man. I was getting hyped. I was like, yo, shit, man. Because the thing is, for us, these things aren't, they're not, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not fictional. It's not going to stay in the realms of fiction, right? This is the lives that we're going to be living. We're going to have that power, right? The Spirit did a video on that the other day, right? It's where you read in Acts, right? The first chapter, basically, Yahushua says, look, man, you shall receive power. And they did, right? And through the hands of the apostles, men were, being healed, right? Were being, by men, I mean, everyone, people were being healed, people were being brought back to life, people were being put to death, right? You look at the story of Ananias and Sapphira, right? Through the words, right? They were literally just put to death, and that was gangster style, man. Right? If people want to, fucking use that word, it was like, look, man, what was said to Sapphira? It's like, look, man, see those men at the back there? Yeah, them men. They carried out your husband dead, and now they gonna carry you out too. And guess what? She died, man. Right? So through them, Spirit basically put a hit on them, man. Right? So for us, it's not in the realms of fiction, having been able to do these certain things and this and the other, but through Esau's policy and his witchcraft, right? The only image that he's pushed of Jake in his media, the only representation that you see of Jake in his media is a negative representation. So this is Psalms 137:3, right? So for they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. Right, and I'm getting this particular one, right, because Esau doesn't mind Jake being an entertainer. He doesn't mind Jake just being a sports person or whatever, because for him, he wasn't able to hide that. He wasn't able to hide the fact that Jake is stronger, Jake is faster, Jake is a better dance, Jake has more rhythm, right? So what has he tried to do? He's tried to basically make it look like Jake is dumb, right? So that's the image and the impression that he will push upon our people. That is a representation that you have of Jake in the media, right? And that is the wickedness, that this man, does. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, right? So to constantly belittle Jake and have a system designed specifically to belittle Jake, right? That is iniquity, man, right? And yet in the same breath, he will try and say that he's superior to us. Look, that's why Jake schools are rubbish, right? That's why the media representation of Jake is rubbish, right? It says, and work evil upon their beds. This is when the morning is like they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, it's in the power of their hand. Who ultimately runs all of these media organizations? Esau, right? He's the one that gets to choose what blows and what doesn't blow, right? Like which I remember a phrase my friend said years ago when we were younger, right, talking about football, right? I'm an Arsenal supporter, right? Or whatever, what have you, right? But basically, was talking about the team and everything. It was like, look, we know guys in the area, right, that are better footballers than some of the people on the team, right? But once again, guess who chooses who gets on the team? Guess who chooses making that funny money? Esau does, man. Right? Because ultimately, look, Esau's not gonna let you get into certain clubs unless you do certain things, right? But other than that, all of the media and this and they'll remember, bro made a point recently, right, about how you have classically trained actors. I forgot which brother it was, but he said, you have classically trained actors, right, and then there'll just be a gangbanger in a film, right? But that's the image that Esau wants to push out on our people, man. Right? Because he runs all of the industries, man, no matter what it is. Scripture says, you shall go to this man in want of all things. You want to set up a business? Well, guess what? You got to pay taxes to him. You got to file your company with in his records, right? It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, right? So this way that Esau portrays Jake, right? That's oppression, man, right? It's just downright oppression from young. All you're seeing is negative, and it's not just what you're seeing; it's what everyone else is seeing around you. Right, from a young age, right? All you're basically being shown as a proverb and a byword, right? That's oppression, man. So you never think good of yourself, right? You always think that you Esau push that image that you can't achieve anything, right? And then if you do achieve anything, then you're a particular type of Jake, right? It was in Deuteronomy 28, 28, and I forgot where it is. Let's finding page. Yeah. So Deuteronomy 28 and 37 says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. Right? And that's it. Right? Our people, we're just a proverb to these people. Right? Always, mocking, and that's part of that is that representation that Esau puts out there, right? That we're just gangsters and criminals, and this is the worst thing about it, is because who's the number one criminal on the face of the planet Earth? You, Esau, right? The so-called white man, right? Look at what he did to the to the Native Americans, our brothers Gad and Reuben, right? Look what he did. Well, here it is. He's in their land, telling them that they're illegal immigrants and they should go home, in reference to the Mexicans, right? Also rather known as Mexicans, but really according to the scriptures, they're the tribe of Issachar, man. Right, here it is. Issacharites, from I'm not in America, right, but from the stories that I'm told from brothers and the apostles and elders, right, in the videos, is that basically Issachar's always in the back working, right? Your Shashka, right? He is hired, right? Look what he did to which called the Southern Kingdom, man, right? Brought them in, nasty ass cargo slave ships, man. Made them suffer. Made all the tribes suffer. As you read, was it in Jeremiah? It says that Judah and Ephraim, right, were pressed together, man, representing the Judah representing the southern kingdom and Ephraim representing the northern kingdom, right? But he's saying as a nation we were oppressed together in that land of America, man. Right? So he's the biggest criminal, but we'll make it out like Jake is a criminal. That Jake is, a drug addict. So, these, man, they go in on them drugs, man. Just go to a university town. A university campus, man. Right? Talk to the locals. You know which halls of residence, where people do loads of drugs, man. Right? But that's all he's made us out to be, right? And what was I gonna? This thing is, what was I gonna get? I forgot what I was gonna get, but the number one bit of representation. Oh wait, no, I got this as well. Let me grab that. This is Matthew 5:13. It says, "Ye are the soul of the earth." Right. So, look, man, without the children of Israel, this world will be dry, and that's not just coming from our flavor, right? So not just coming from a point of entertainment. Jake is hella smart, but guess what? Esau has to undermine Jacob, man. Esau goes out of his way to undermine Jacob, right? To undermine the Israelites, man. Right, that's why once again in the schools where Jake be at, it's rubbish, right? Which a part of that is a lot of you niggas ain't good for shit anyway, man. Which is why the Lord's just gonna have to do away with you, right? But we can't we can't get over the fact that Esau has had a hand in creating these environments that Jake is in, right? Systematically removing the man out the household, right? Which basically meant that these little children, these Jake men, right? These Israelite men, they grow up hella emotional, raised by their moms with these feminine traits, which is why they're hella emotional, which is why they're unruly, right? Which is why wherever they be at, they basically are, are in this ain't good for shit, man, right? So it says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? Right? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." Right? So ye are the salt of the earth, man. We're the salt of the earth, whether it's, how smart we are, because we the smartest. We're the best mentally, man. Right? Esau will try to say he is, but that ain't true. Esau will lose his job and top himself, man. But Jay be struggling. Jay know the struggle, man. Right? It says, and this is the most important bit of representation that Esau's taken away, right? Which is why, this man's going to be dealt with, right? Because he's blasphemed, man. He's basically said the Most High, rather Yahweh, well, he will depict the Most High as a leper too, right? It's a Revelation 1:13, and in the midst of the seven candlesticks, right, the seven churches in Asia Minor, one like unto the Son of Man, which referring to Yahweh Shai, right, clothed with a garment down to the foot and girded about the paps of the golden girdle, right, wearing a golden girdle because, like his father, Yahweh Shai was a man of war, right? You read in Exodus, was it 3:15? Says that the Lord is a man of war, right? Yahweh is his name. What was that? Yeah, 3:15. Exodus 3:15, I believe. Yeah. Or 15 and 3. 15 and 3. It'll be Exodus 15 and 3. Right? It's good about the paps of the golden girdle, right? Because like his father, he is a man of war, right? Like father, like son, right? His head and his hairs were white like wool, white as snow. So he had white woolly hair, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, right? Because he drank wine. You read in the prophecies, right? Was it Genesis 49? What does it say? Genesis 49. So I'm gonna have to get it now. Slut. My mind's completely blanked out. Reuben, Simeon, Judah. It says Genesis 49 and 8 says, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, and thy father's children shall bow down to thee, but shall down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up." Right? He stood down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion who shall rouse him up. And what you're seeing right now, right, is Judah, rousing up. And in him rousing up, right, you're rather starting to see Judah rousing up. And in him rousing up, the Israelites, in all the nations, in all the rest of the world, right, no matter how they look, right, they're rousing up too, right? Because the scripture says that, the Lord shall save the tents of Judah first, right? So, things happen through Judah first, right? So it says in verse 40, in verse 10, right? It says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and to him shall the gathering of the people be," right? Binding his foal onto the vine and his ass's coat onto the choice vine, he washed his garments in wine, his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Right, so that was the point that I wanted there. Eyes red with wine, right? It says, verse 15, it says, and his feet, Revelation 1:15, and his feet like unto fine brass. And what color is brass? Right? It's a dark brown color, right? But then it goes on to say, as if they burned in a furnace. So it's even dark. So it's a dark brown, right? So if his feet were that color, then what color was the rest of his body, right? You've been seeing how much Jake has been, recently came out, rather than the mainstream that's come out. I've not really seen where it started, but I've just been seeing all over, the social media, Jake be finding out that Mozart was a so-called black man. Jake be loving it, man, right? Jake be, all doing the memes and shit, right? They trap dancing to some Mozart and all of that sort of stuff, man. Right, and then someone basically tweeted like, look, hey, if this is how y'all get, if you found out, roughly paraphrasing what he said, but basically saying, look, if you're excited about Mozart being black, wait till you find out about Jesus, right? And then we know Jesus' real name is Yahweh Shai, right? It says, as if they burned in a furnace, right? And his voice as the sound of many waters, right? So hey, look, man, they've whitewashed and taken away the image of Yahushua, but Yahushua was a dark-skinned man, right? And that's the bit of representation, right? That Jake really wants to would care about, man, right? That's the most, because look, man, if you know that the Savior of the world looks like you gonna carry yourself different. Now you get a load of Jakes up like, yeah, I know Jesus was black, but they don't believe it. They don't believe it. Why? Because ultimately Esau hasn't validated it, right? But we don't need Esau to validate it. In fact, we validate Esau, right? You'll be like, no, wait, Esau, no, you went off there, and then in other places, oh, Esau, you was on point there, right? But yeah, like I said, just a quick one, on representation, man, right? And yeah, as always, Lord's Word, I was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.